Hello and welcome to Workflow Lab. So in this lab, we're going to we do a data interaction, with database interaction, but in this time, we're going to do a slightly different thing. So what we want to do is we want to still use PL SQL to capture the information from the workflow, and I want to see how we can manipulate it to give a value result back. So the previous lab we have done where there's no result comes back. So here we're going to get the result back from the workflow package. As always, a zip file available for you to download. So here's where we started. We have a vacation request that's coming in. The approver would then approve or reject it. Based on that, the notification will be sent. So we added one more complexity by adding a request with the ability to resubmit as a loop. Then we added a capability to store the value in the database. So we're going to add one more condition. We're going to check up front. We're going to see if the submitter is equal to the approver. If the requester and the approver are the same, we don't want to continue with this process. We want to branch it out and end this. So how do we do this? So let's go ahead and get started on it. So I've opened the workflow dashboard 6. I'm going to expand our vacation proposal and process. So far we have done we have done the loop and we have done the update vacation workflow. So let's go ahead and delete these two lines. So we're going to add a new um, function in between. Actually, add a new function in between, which is going to check if the approver is the same as the requester. We will add it and we'll look at the pack. We can look at the procedure that does it, so that we will have a better idea. So let's go ahead and look through the document. So we've deleted that. Let's go ahead and create a new function. Give the name check approver check approver. Use a compare icon. Function name. This is the function that we'll be using, and it's going to return us an yes or no. So before we proceed, let's see. Let's look at what this check approver does. So if you look at this procedure, the procedure has those 5 keywords, and it has the function. If the function code is run, basically if it's a run, it's going to get the requester, and it's going to get the approver, and it's going to check if the approver is not equal to requester. If it's not equal, then it's no. We're going to pass no. We're going to return back no. If it's yes, we're going to return back yes. So we got the idea what what the procedure does, and we know what it's going to return. Click OK. Let's go ahead and drag it here. Let's go ahead and expand the standard function and get an end. I won't prefer to copy it from here. It's going to cause trouble. So let's go ahead and get an end. So I'm just going to keep it here. Actually, I'm going to keep it right. Double click on it. Click on the node. Change the end. Change it to reject. Apply. Or you can have a null value too. It doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and connect it. So we're going to have, so it's going to be, if it's the same as approver, then do this. If it's same as approver, then it's going to do this. So that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and save it. I'm going to save it as a next version, and I'll save it to the database also. So I've saved it to the database. So I'm going to search. I'm going to go back to eBusiness. Go to the workflow administrator. Click on the developer studio. Search for my workflow. Click go. Then I'll get the vacation proposal my workflow. Click on run. So I'm going to fill in that necessary data. Here I'm making sure that the request and approval are the same. Click submit. Okay, it's going to ask you for confirmation. Click OK. So go to the status monitor, find the workflow, search for the workflow started today, click OK, um, click OK. So you would see that workflow entered already. So you can see that normally the workflow would come as active, but here it completed. Let's look at the status diagram. So you can see it hit that condition where approver is the approver same as the requester, and it entered it. So you can try different combinations. So at least you would know how to branch from. The idea is to show you how to branch it based on certain conditions. How do you branch it? You can have so it doesn't have to be yes no. So it doesn't have to be yes no. You can have 1 2 3 4 5 6, and if it's one, you perform this. So you can be as much creative as possible with this branching. So in the example that we have shown, it's primarily for simple purpose. It just shows you how do you branch based on yes or no flag. You can do the same thing with number 1 2 3, but you make sure you add your lookup type and everything. So let's look at the standard lookup types that we have. We have yes no. If you look at open it, you can see that the value, you can look at it. If you right click on it, you can create a new lookup type. The lookup type that we have is standard yes no, and if you look at it, the value is n for no and yes for yes, and that's the reason why we pass y or yes in there. So let's look at some other here in master detail. If you look at it here, its internal name is detail. So similarly, if you want, you can create your own lookup. So click on new lookup type. So it's going to be, let's say, my branch. So you can add your own values, new lookup code. So I'm going to say one would be, I'm just going to say USA, apply. I can add more lookup code. So for example, two would be UK. So you can add any other lookup, and when you define your function, you make sure you return one or two. Then you can branch it in here. So I hope you got the idea. So you can definitely expand on these basic functionalities.